on, everyone? Welcome to the More Defined Podcast. I'm your host, James Chatmon Jr., and today we have Kamden Love, or K.I. Moore. Some of you might know him, and I'll let him share a little bit more about who he is and what he does.
18, finna be 19 years old in a few weeks. Finna have a little birthday or whatever. But I'm just a musician, artist. Try to, I wouldn't say manager, but I kind of try to move some stuff around for some other people too. So college student. We just trying to make it in the world, man. Trying to
Yeah,
do as much as I can to get
yeah,
myself out there, man.
I definitely understand that, like for real, for real. So, all right, first one, I want to make this. I think I mentioned it before, but this is kind of like a
Mhm.
conversation kind of as well as an interview too.
Of
But
course, of
I
course.
definitely want to make it a safe space as well. And I want to start off with like a check-in. You share as little or as much as you want, but basically, how's everything going in life right now? Kind of give like 1 to 10 number wise. Maybe share a
Ooh,
little bit if you feel like it. And
one
I
to
can talk about me
ten.
too.
Of
You
course,
don't
we
want it to
got to,
just
we
be
got to.
you.
1 to 10, man. That's tough. I'll probably say like on a cool little 8, maybe 8.3. We
Okay.
doing good, man. Just dropped the single yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, that's always a nerve wracking and exciting time. But, this time I'm not gonna lie, that Instagram algorithm was kind of playing with me, man. They ain't really want me to succeed. So that got me down a little bit. But, talking to some people about it got me back up. We on a little fitness journey, trying
Okay.
to get healthy. So I've been doing five
Yeah.
miles every day. So, that's been getting me in good spirits, man. It's taking care of health, eating more green, less fast food, saving money. So, been pretty good. Getting back into, going to church, getting all the routines right, going to
Okay.
sleep
Okay.
before 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a good time. I can't lie, it's a good time. A little 8.3, 8.5. How about yourself?
Okay. Uh, I share myself. I would say with everything going on, I'm probably at a solid 8.
Eight.
Um, Everything with work is going perfectly fine. I've been way more consistent in the gym now. Well, since I got done with school last year, I'm way more consistent in the gym and everything. Finally, back into doing my podcast and stuff like that. So
Woo! We've been
that's
waiting.
actually a big deal for me. Everything else, family wise, everybody's good and stuff like that. It's just me really finding my stride as an adult now, basically.
Yeah.
So getting back into reading more, trying to figure out more activities I can go do, be around the city, be around downtown Jackson or something like that. Just looking for things to do, look for fun stuff to do, honestly. But my main thing now, like I said, is getting back to the
Getting
podcast
back.
and actually
Too
put
long
some time and
years.
energy into it. So
Been too long years. I was looking at the channel today. I said, no way, it's been 2 years since the last
yeah,
upload.
yeah.
I said there was a
Uh,
part one video and we never got to a part two.
I mean, so what happened? It was COVID. That's when I it was right before COVID when I started it.
Yeah.
And then when I got back to school during COVID, it was kind of a lull period where it
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break and make sure I'm back in the flow of school and everything like that. Because I actually wasn't in Mississippi when I was doing a lot of the recording earlier on. Once I got back, I was kind of slowing down on it a little bit, and then
Yeah.
school got in the way, and I was like,
I
dang,
understand it.
I can't focus on this and school. And that was my worst semester too. Like I had
For
nothing
real.
but C's. I had a few
Ooh.
D's I had to pull up. Like
C's
yeah,
get
that was
degrees. C's get
yeah, that
degrees.
was that was a semester I needed to take a break, so I
No, I
did.
felt that.
And then more and more time just kept going on, and I eventually just stopped it at this point. But it wasn't my intention
Of
initially
course, of
to
course, of course. It never
not
it never
stop.
really is. It
Yeah.
never really is.
But I mean, now circling back around, doing this new podcast, this one's a little bit different because that one was more of like a solo thing. This one is guest based, interview based. So I'm definitely gonna be on this one more. Like I'm in a completely different mindset about it. I planned out more of it
Oh,
strategically.
snap
I'm not gonna be
strategically. I
burning
see you.
myself out. Like
Correct.
yeah.
What's the what made you come up with the name?
Honestly, it took me about 10, 11 different iterations to get a name. Like if I had a list, because I deleted all the other names, but if I had a list of the names I'd have, I'd spit them out. But like it took me a minute, but I knew I wanted to the original artwork too. It was way
Yeah.
different. Like basically the name has a meaning to just highlight any and everything that has to do with not the stereotypical stuff that people see
Right.
every day,
Okay.
basically. I want to be able to highlight any and every profession, like being an engineer, what I do or whatnot, or just the insights a little bit more on a music artist or doing other things when it comes to being a creative, and everything in between, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what the genesis of it was, and I feel like More Defined was a good one because I hadn't seen it anywhere either. Like that
Hey,
was another
facts.
thing. Like I was
That's
looking
what you got to
everywhere. I
do
was like,
because
I do not want to have a name
you
similar
don't
to
want a
anybody.
million. Yes.
Yeah. So I did that, and I was like, I think I'm gonna stick with this one. It took me a minute. It took me like two
A good
months
one.
to get comfortable with it. Like not gonna lie.
Hey, I saw it pop up. I was like, I expect to
Yeah.
see James Chapman pop, but more to find. I like that.
No,
I
yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
can't complain. No,
It
it's
gives
cool,
me a
man.
little bit
Cool.
more of a different
Dang.
feel too,
Yeah.
because the other one, since it was self-titled,
It was you.
people
Yeah.
have different connotations of that, but like actually having a real name, people are gonna take that a little differently. So
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. What you call it? Podcast me. Like with you, like perfect. Like
yeah,
we started it probably the story how it started. One of our friends started doing a podcast, and me, my homie Chris, my homie Kenny were all on it. And then after that, we were like, I talked to Chris. I was like, "Yo, we got to start our own. Like, this is
yeah.
amazing." So we started it in like early 21. We probably
Hmm.
got like 5 episodes out because it's just like, yeah, we're finna go hard. Boom.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
hiatus. Okay, we're finna go hard
yeah,
for this time. Then you get a audio corrupted or something. It's just wow. But I
yeah.
understand it because
I had something like that happen on one of my
ooh,
episodes. I was like, dang
it's
man. I was like,
so man
yeah,
that sucks, man. Like a whole album review. I was like, you know what? I
yeah,
know you got a lot on your plate. I'll edit it this time. I'll be your
yeah,
editor. I'm looking. I'm like, bro, I can't hear anything. So I understand it. I understand it. And going back to the name too, I thought about it. I'm blessed. Literally, K Moore came up with it. That was the first one, and that was the last one. I was
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
down. I was like, I like French. I take French. K Amour. Boom. I
Hey,
love K
hey. Sometimes
love
it's just that
Amour.
simple.
Sometimes it is that simple, but I do like more
Yeah,
defined. That's cool.
yeah,
I can see that on a lot of. It rolls off the tongue nice. It rolls off the tongue.
yeah. I appreciate that, man.
Of course.
Uh, so this is something I want to ask all my guests.
Mm.
At what moment did you know, or did someone tell you that you basically had a gift or a heart for being into the music industry?
I've always loved music. I probably got into like what I say is like my current like super fan of music, probably like seventh grade.
Okay.
But I had a friend that I know, Nathan Cook. He goes over to state. His rapper name is Big Nacho. But I met him at a summer camp back in middle school, and he was already making music, and he would freestyle for a few of us. We all freestyle whatever. Kept in touch, kept in tune with him. Then COVID hit, and
Yeah.
I heard one of his songs, and I was like, "Hey, bro, you think I could just hop on it just to just play around?" I'm like, let
Yeah.
me just hop on it real quick, and I hopped on it, and I was did whatever. It was bad. Like I thought it was good back then, but it was bad. But he was like, "Hey, nah, bro. Like I see you. Like I know you love music. Like you should just keep going at it. Keep going at it." So that's really what it was. I've always liked music. I started
Hmm.
writing a little bit back in like middle school, just a little bit, but it took until quarantine. So July 2020, I believe, because we had that. And then I dropped like a few little things, maybe like a few features. They weren't great.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got better as it went on, but they weren't great. And then of course, as you know, one third of the people who create Crystal Gem,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
there, it's history. So yeah, shout out to my boy Nathan Cook,
What'd you say his artist name was again?
Big Nacho.
Okay. Okay. So I know you're in college right now. What's the college experience been like so far?
Well, for me, the college experience has been at the
Yeah.
crib university. I've been doing online because I'm not. I can, and let me preface this because I hate when people say this generation of relationships, this generation or
Man.
whatever,
Man.
because every generation went through something. And I hate when people say this state, but I can only speak for Mississippi.
Yeah.
Mississippi's housing for college is just terrible right now.
Oh, for sure.
Because I was trying to get into a dorm at Hines and Raymond, just non-existent. And then I was gonna go back in January, but I was like, I might as well just finish out this virtual thing. But
Mm.
I'm still deciding now. It's April, May. I'm trying to see if I want to get out there in fall or if I want to stay with this and then go in person my junior year whenever I go to the
Mm.
4 year. But it's been great because with this, I'm one of the people who's blessed because I know not everybody can do online school.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
not everybody can do it. But with COVID happened, I was killing it in classes, and with now, I can do classes, I can do music, I
Yeah.
can go to work, I
Don't have to
can
go too
go
far.
out to events.
Yeah.
I don't have to go far. I don't have to do any drives, less gas money. I get back all the tuition and meal plan money. So it's like it's really it's not what was making you be online, but now it's like what would make me go
Yeah.
back in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I'm getting money, I'm getting even more money because I'm working. I can do everything at my own pace. Like I don't
I
know.
feel
I'm gonna
it.
try to get the college experience. Just everybody, oh, you need to try it. But I don't know. But it's going good. Semester ended yesterday. I have two
Okay.
89s. Two
Uh,
89. I need my teachers
dang.
to
Dang.
do a little something for me. But yeah, it's going good.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I was thinking about when you potentially be ending the semester, but that's great that it ended yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you majoring in so far?
Marketing.
Or do you have one?
Marketing. Yeah, marketing.
Okay, okay. So you have any ideas about where you see yourself for the 4 year yet?
I'm between Southern Miss, State, maybe Auburn,
Hmm,
maybe LSU. I don't know. Those are kind. I'm just
yeah,
looking at here, Auburn, everywhere here, because
yeah.
you might as well. Then Auburn, somewhere in Louisiana or Tennessee. Just in this little radius right here.
I
You know,
understand that.
in a little Bible belt.
Honestly, I can say state is like everywhere else with the dorm issues and everything. So
I've heard.
if you do go up there, just prepare to get an apartment. Like, ain't no question about it. Like,
I heard that from my homie. He was like, "Hey
yeah,
man, I'm finna go ahead and get an apartment because they kicking people out for these freshmen." I
literally.
said, "Dang, this
It
is crazy."
my freshman year, we had like a record number of folks attending. And then every year afterwards, they
Was
kept
a
having a
record
record
number.
number of folks. And so I just so happened to get an apartment halfway through my sophomore year because of the
Yeah,
way things worked out when I came
yeah.
back to school. But I literally started hearing about freshmen having to come in and stuff like that, and upperclassmen having to get kicked out of
They
dorms
got
just
booted out,
because
man.
of the amount of freshmen that was coming on campus. So
They not
yeah,
finna have me out here
it's
looking
tough.
crazy. They not finna have me out here looking crazy.
Yeah. How did you land on the idea of being a rapper or hip hop artist?
Um, like I said before, it's like since I was young, I was grateful enough to have parents who listen to everything. So everything Tupac to Bon Jovi to Queen
Okay,
to
okay.
Sade,
Yeah,
Maxwell. So I've
nice
had
collection.
every genre you could think of. I've had it all. But hip hop is just it's just so in the culture. It's just my favorite artists. Are all mostly in that vein. So
Hmm.
once my boy Nate told me, here you go, this is how you do it. And I saw it's easy, but it's not easy. But it's like
Yeah.
easy enough to like it's easy to get into,
Hmm.
and then you just gotta keep on improving.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
easy enough. I'm like, okay, I already know how to write. I listen to enough music where I can, gather inspiration from a lot of sources. So I was like, let's do it. And after Crystal Gym, I was like, hey, like
Yeah.
now with that, and it's like a gift and a curse. Now when we drop something like that, even though it's not huge, but it was relatively big in the circles I was in. Especially I was on Twitch a lot, so all the people
Hmm.
from all over were like, "Oh, they're playing on
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
streams. Everybody's getting." So now it's like, "When's the next? When's the next one? When's the next one?" So that after that, I was like, "Okay, this is something I think I'm gonna do for like ever." But to be honest, like I don't even consider myself a hip hop artist. I consider myself like an artist because in the tuck I
Okay.
got like
Okay.
a punk rock demo. I
Yeah.
got a song that I wrote for somebody else and gave it to them. It's like the Deftones, just like some emo rock type
Hmm.
thing. Wrote
Hmm.
that for them, gave that to them. So I really try to do it. It's just with the current equipment I have, hip hop is the easiest
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get into. I feel like, and I unfortunately can't sing. If I could sing, it'd be R&B. Like you wouldn't even hear me rapping. If I could sing, it'd be straight R&B. But yeah, that's pretty much
You
it.
mentioned writing a little bit and
Mhm.
actually doing other type of genres in a
Yeah,
sense. So would you say that you haven't put yourself in a box in terms of
yeah,
what type of
yeah.
artist you are?
Um, I feel like I haven't, but like I said, them early days I
Yeah.
did, and I didn't even mean to, because with Crystal Gem, that's what they call lo-fi. That's like that
Hmm.
nice little, thing you have in the back of your podcast or YouTube video, whatever. Then the next tape I did also had a lot of lo-fi. So
Yeah.
now I was, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he's the one who makes the chill like lo-fi music, and I hated that because I'm like, yo, like
Mm,
I can't get any like so many people. Even if you're, I'm just gonna say, if you're black and you make music, most people's first thing, oh, he's a SoundCloud rapper. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
no, my stuff is everywhere. Like, let's not
Yeah.
do that. That's a negative stigma. But so that lo-fi box was, I'm trying to get out of it now. But like, well, on top from yesterday, it's got like some more horns in it. It's more bombastic. The little YouTube EP I dropped in December, it has a
Hmm.
little bit of those like
Yeah.
alternate hip hop, like Steve Lacy type vibes to some songs, and then like another hard hitting song. So I've been trying to just slowly break out of that. And this summer, I'm trying to just break out of it entirely. Most people are like, okay, yeah, he's doing more, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to just take that off because the box is the worst thing for me. The box is the worst thing you can be put in anything.
Do you feel like you kind of had that pressure initially on yourself, or was it like other people that you knew who were also doing music that kind of put you in that box a little bit?
Um, I honestly say um I feel like it's a word begins with an I, but I don't know. But basically, it was just lack of experience. Like once
Mm,
you start at anything, I still feel like it is important to find
yeah.
a quick niche you can be good at. So
Hmm.
like at a job, okay, let's master this, and then let's move, or like get 70% mastered at this, then let's move on to the stuff. And that's what it was. Like again, all the songs I dropped before Crystal Gem were not that great. But now Crystal Gem is like this, like, and thing in people's eyes, like, oh wow, this is so
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm like, okay, let's start looking at part two of this, and then you start getting into it so much. And I didn't slash don't have the best equipment, but we're getting an upgrade next month. But because of that, it was easier to hide the equipment like deficiencies behind that
Hmm.
lo-fi sound because it's already
Yeah.
like a muffled type of sound, whatever. But I would say my peers, I don't think my peers put me in any sort of box
Mm.
because they were the ones getting like the demos and stuff, like the stuff the other stuff, like the alternate rock, all that stuff, so they could see what I was doing. But yeah, it's like the making music in high school is a whole nother thing, to be honest. So you got all them trying to put you in the box. But
Hey
yeah, I would
man.
say I put myself in the box a little bit when I started off, but after like 5 months, I was like
Yeah.
breaking out. Like I'm trying to do something else. I don't want to keep doing this.
Okay, I get that. It's it's interesting you made the point about the making music in high school thing.
Yeah,
Like, I think it was around my time where it seemed like that was a big wave for
yeah,
some reason. Like
yeah.
everybody was trying to do something in high school with music. I ain't gonna lie, I thought about it myself. I actually wrote a whole album out. I
Whoa, you never told me
recorded.
this. You never told me this.
Only people who know about it is like, I don't want to say it's specific, like
Yeah,
people who were in my grade, but also people who like just my friend group basically at that point
yeah,
in time. Like the ones who knew I was like in the music for real, for real.
yeah.
And so actually a few people saw some of my songs, like they saw the whole lyrics and everything. I recorded or at least did snippets for like all of them.
Well,
Because
I need those. I need those.
it was like a 16 song album, I think. Um,
16.
yeah.
Yo, that is a
What's
whole
funny,
release.
so I started writing um middle school, I think it was.
Yeah,
Well, creative writing. I've always been into writing in general, but
facts.
writing music, I think I started it late middle school, early high
Yeah,
school. And then it was like 10th grade when I got kind of serious with it. I got all these song concepts and
you're
everything.
just
I
like
was like,
me.
all right, I'm gonna drop an album. This is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put out this single first, that single first, then we're gonna
Ooh,
kick roll it.
boy was ready.
I mean, I was 80% there, and then I was just really nervous about how I sounded. Like,
I understand.
yeah, I can sing. I know I've had plenty of people tell me like my voice sounds good and everything, but I was just super nervous. I didn't want to put something out and it not hit, basically.
Hey, I
Um,
understand, especially in high school, man. Like, yo, people are rough.
oh
People
yeah,
are rough.
oh
So
yeah.
I can't even fault you. I'm blessed to have had, you know, not blessed to have COVID, but I was blessed to be like an online situation at that time. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't have to deal with all of that,
Yeah.
and I could perfect like get back. Like once I came back the next year, I definitely got some of it. Like, don't get me wrong, but by then I had already had Crystal Gem and that piece of, I think I already had. Crystal Gem and maybe Peace and Quiet. So those are two of like the bigger songs where people are
Hmm.
like, oh no, like hey
Yeah,
man, like he can
yeah,
actually like do a little bit. But if I didn't have that, I probably would have. I probably wouldn't have started until like my age now. So
yeah.
yeah, I definitely feel. But I gotta hear that. I gotta hear that.
That stuff is in the vault. It's still there. Honestly, lately I've been having a lot of urges to get back to the writing. I don't know if I'm gonna be singing myself. It's funny because I've promised a lot of people that I was gonna sing for them or at least show them in some capacity that I can sing. So I've been thinking about maybe just doing some doing little snippets or something, or maybe doing like a what do you call it?
Like a
When you're singing
reel
somebody
or
else's song,
cover.
like doing like a cover or something like that, just posting it on Instagram or something, just see how I feel about it, and
Go
then
for it.
I might move into getting back to the actual music thing myself. But we'll see how it
We'll
goes.
see. It's good that you spoke about that because with me, I understand saying hip hop because most of my stuff that's come out is hip hop, so I'm not mad at that. But with that community, it's so like it's crazy how different it is between genre because R&B or singing or whatever capacity somebody else writes it. It's just like oh cool, but in
Yeah.
hip hop somebody else writes
Hey.
your stuff. It's like oh nah you. But I'm not really like that. Like
Mhm.
of course if you I wouldn't like let's say a diss record or something that's just like hard like I'm this blah blah blah. That I understand like okay don't have somebody else write that. That's supposed to be like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if somebody came with me or something, like, hey man, like I wrote this little hook for you, like blah blah. I'm like, hey bro, let's go for like if it sounds good, we gonna do it. And I like the writing for other artists too. Shout out to I ain't even gonna say his name, but somebody we know that can sing pretty well. Like even back in the day, I was like, hey man, you think I can like? And this is back like before I even started music. This is like middle
Yeah.
school or like early high school. I'm like, hey man, you think I could try to like just write something like that you could maybe want to use or anything like that? I was like, yeah, for sure. Somebody else we know that can sing. They asked me, hey, you want to write maybe like a gospel type song for me? I'm like, yo,
Mm.
I 100%
Mm.
do it. They didn't. The second person didn't get back to me, but yeah. So like, I love like the idea of just like writing for other people, and that's always been like my thing. Like with music, if I can just write something that
Mm.
somebody else sings or raps, well, sings. I don't know about if somebody else raps because I feel like if I can rap it, but if I write something that somebody else sings and that can be like a chart topper, go huge, make people feel something, it's like yo, like that's what it's about, bro. Because
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, it's my words,
Yeah.
and it's making all these people feel a certain thing. So yeah, I kind of that's a stigma. I understand it, but it's like I kind of mess with it. Like you don't get mad at actors for
Nah,
acting out something that somebody else wrote.
them getting,
So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's the music industry is interesting to
It's
say
very
the
interesting.
least.
It's very interesting.
Uh, you and I were both in band throughout middle school and high school. So, do you think that had a influence on your musicality at all?
A little bit breath control. Breath control. Um, playing a wind instrument, it definitely like helped me. Like, okay, let me. This is where I should breathe, and this.
Yeah.
This is where I
Yeah.
shouldn't breathe. And then the musicality of it, I'm trying to get into that. Like this summer,
Mm.
I'm trying to like learn how to produce and all that. Like I want to be able by the end of I'm not gonna set myself a goal here, but very soon I want to be able to just do everything myself, like
Okay.
engineer,
Yeah.
mix, master, write, produce. So I'm definitely gonna incorporate some of that. Try to get back on the sax and maybe incorporate into like a piano. Because if you
Mm.
feel like if you play the piano, I feel like you can like get into producing.
Oh
You know all
yeah.
the keys, all that. So I would definitely say it's did a little bit, but mostly breath control right now. Yeah, play a part
That's understandable about the breath control. Honestly, being in band and choir, it helped me versatily. Like I
for
use
sure.
choir elements for band sometimes, and I use band elements for choir sometimes. So I can definitely understand like the little nuances of how it
Yeah.
helps. So at this current moment, or maybe you can think about the last song that you made. Tell me about your process for making a song.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk you through. I have either two or three, but I'll
Mm.
probably figure out. So the first one, the most basic one, I'm just I don't got nothing to do. Let's just look for beats. Let's just look for beats on YouTube. Let's listen to them. go through it, listen. I'm feeling this. Nah, I'm not feeling that. Blah blah. Blah, I'm feeling it. Let me write something. Yeah, this doesn't work. Going to something else. So just then finding the beat, I get it. I'm like, okay, let me stop. I'm gonna try to write something to this. That's one option. Another option that I do sometimes is like, okay, I'm in this mode. I want to talk about this subject, or I want to. I've been listening to a lot of like Pharrell, Justin Timberlake type stuff lately. So I'll be like, I want to do something. I want to write like an R&B song in this style. So I'll go look for that specifically. Try
Mm,
to get inspiration from that sound. Or sometimes I'll write something or like freestyle it to myself, like free writing or freestyling, and then I'll go back and be like, okay, what beat can I put these words on, and then I'll
mm,
let it take a life from there. And funny thing, I keep going back to Crystal Gem. Okay, not special to us. Crystal Gem is originally, like you said, a cover. It was on a whole. It was like on a ASAP Rocky instrumental. ASAP
yeah.
Rocky and More Masa. It was like a little like a real poppy type beat, and I had the whole song written for there. Then, and it's the best thing that ever happened music wise. SoundCloud, I was trying to put on SoundCloud. They said, "Hey, this is like copywriting the heck. Like you can't use this." I said, "Dang man, like I was trying to put this out, okay," and and I just had words pop in my head. Sometimes I do that too. The word "hopeless romantic" just popped into my head, and I looked
Mm,
at that beat. It was a beat by somebody named Yusei, and I listened to it. I said, "Okay, I can put these words here. It still matches." So it's really just a varied thing for real. But most of the time, I do look for the beat first and kind of let it take a life from there.
okay, okay. You feel like at some point you'll be able to get to the song making process where you're like kind of just getting ideas from other people to maybe help along with that.
For sure. Me, I, it's an online friend, so I can't remember his name. I think his name is Jalen though, but it's I think like Wacky World. He'll know I'm talking about him. But last year, or maybe 2 years ago, it was some part during the summer. I was like, "Hey man, like I know you're really into Brent Fayez, and I'm
Mm,
really into Brent Fayez too. Let's just go find some beats and let's just both write together something that I could do like with that type of vibe." And we went in there. Frustrations Part Two came from that on Summer Sunset. He didn't write that one, but that was during like those sessions.
mhm.
So I do that with that. Um, I have what did I do? A few days ago, actually like 3 days ago, I had my homie Monterio, who's been on a few of my things. I'm like, hey man, can you do this intro to this song? Like I feel like I just want you to write something for it and see if I can put something over it. And I'm gonna end up using his version of it, but I'm already in that mode. Like I said, I'm trying to break that
Yeah.
stigma of like, you letting somebody else write for you, blah blah blah. I'm like, hey, like come here. I'll send emails. Hey, you do this. You do this.
Yeah.
You do this. So yeah, I'm already doing it. I want to get to a point where it's like a have like a hotel or a studio or something, just with me, some of the other guys from originally, Makobi, Makai,
I
the
was just
homie
about to ask.
Navia.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to get us just all in one spot and just like, hey, sit down for like 6 hours and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just go crazy. So I'm definitely trying to plan that. Maybe hopefully for this summer or something close to that.
Yeah, I know it's a big thing that I don't think enough artists talk about, or at least maybe not the artists now that are popping, but the artists kind of when we were a little bit younger,
Yeah,
like they had studio sessions, big studio
yeah,
sessions or big things with their friends or whatever. They were literally throwing ideas off the wall, like literally kind of helping each other like
yeah,
rewrite certain things. And I think that's something that should be talked about more honestly, especially for like us people who are younger in the
yeah,
game or just younger listeners in general or folks who are trying to aspire to actually do more in the music industry. Like you were saying, you want to get to the point where you're a producer,
yeah,
you're doing anything writing wise, actually being in the booth yourself. And so all those elements can line themselves up when you're around a whole collective
yeah,
and when you're doing bigger and better productions, but also like actually pinpointing different things where you're helping other people.
yeah,
And so I think those experiences might actually be something really beneficial. Like how
for
you're
sure.
saying, like be able to get all y'all in the room or a studio or something, like make that be like a once every so often type of thing to
Yeah,
where you'll start seeing y'all's growth together as a group and individuals.
yeah.
So
It's just an ego thing. Like the world
yeah,
is ran by ego, so not everybody wants
man,
to. Not
oh
everybody wants to
man,
do that. But like, it's just beautiful. Like collaboration is
oh,
my favorite part. I'm finna. This okay. This is gonna be the break. I'm finna go help my
Okay.
dad with some gardening stuff. I'll be back probably like 40 minutes.
Okay.
All right, but great so far.
Okay. Do you think there is a different appreciation for underground versus mainstream artists?
For sure. I think there's a different appreciation and under appreciation. I think there's
Mm,
both. For the appreciation, it's like, especially there is much pros and cons to being under. I'm gonna sort it out because it's a great question.
yeah.
Major questions, by the way, 10 out of 10. But I had this one young lady, the back when was this, I can't remember if this was during COVID or when I got back into school, but I sent her my song and she was like, "Oh, like it's really good, but I can't listen to it because like it's you. Like when I listen, I hear you." I'm like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "What is?" You just said it's a good song. And she was like, "I think
Yeah.
I'd like it better if it wasn't you." I'm like, "What are
Dang.
you talking about?" So yeah, so that's, man, that would hurt me. I ain't
At
gonna
least she
lie.
was honest.
She
Yeah.
was honest. She was honest. But I was like, she said she liked it, but she said it would be better if it wasn't me. Like, what does that mean? And then there's the other side where I do it personally.
Mm,
I guarantee you, like, I'm no Drake, I'm no Miguel, I'm not like, I know my quality isn't the top. So I bet there are some people that are like, it's good, but because it's my boy, like it's great. Like I
mm,
know there's some people like that, and I do that for some other artists that like this is good, but it's my homie. Like they're from here. Like I know what they did it with, so like
yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
So and then for so yeah, for appreciation wise, then when it's underground, for example, let's go Tim's, right? So I'm not gonna say I discovered Tim's or nothing, but her song "Free Mind," a homie put me onto that back in 2020. So before like the song with Kid and all that blew up,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and Wait for You and all
Yeah.
that. So "Free Mind," I was on that like, I think I may have dropped in 2018 or something, but I was on in 2020. So I was like, yo, like this Tim's
Yeah.
girl, like she
That's
it.
about when I
But
picked up on her. Yeah. I
look at
think
that, look at
was it one of my friends? I don't remember who put me on. I had to think about it for a minute, but that's about when I started listening to her too.
yeah, okay, we on her early part
Yeah.
of the fan club. Okay. But yeah, stuff like that where it's like, yo, and to kind of delve off into a different subject just slightly. During that whole COVID era, like I said, I was on Twitch, the gaming streaming platform, a lot, and I created a playlist
Mm,
because this is around the time where like people getting copyright strikes
yeah.
everywhere. So I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm an independent artist. I have Makai and Makobi and all these other people I met. Let me make a thing where just independent people. So like
Mm,
no label can like copyright strike it. And through that, man, I found so many like great independent artists. Like Tim, she was independent at the time, so that's why I found I
yeah.
put on the
Yeah.
tape. Dude from Atlanta, Cam the Artisan, put him on there. But there was just a lot of people, and it really made me get like a newfound respect
Mm,
because from here, or with some people, like I do it like this. Like my music, I think it's good. I think it's
yeah.
pretty good. But it gets better when it's like, oh, he's doing it with this equipment. Like that's crazy. So little caveats, which
Yeah.
I understand. Like
Yeah.
I can admit that. But like with a guy like my homie, like Cam the Artisan or Navia, for example, somebody that's here is listening to it like, yo, like this is great. Like this is amazing. Regard like no caveat, no asterisks. So it's just different levels because it's just like a child. Like if a child does one thing, it's like, yo, like that's not really crazy impressive, but like they're 5 years old. Like that's kind of crazy. And then when you're like 12, you're like, okay, most people aren't really doing that,
Yeah.
your age. So good. And then when you're like 22, you're like, bro, do you want like a clap or something? Like you're supposed to be doing that.
Like
So I feel
you're
like,
supposed to have it at this point.
yeah,
Like
you
yeah.
feel me? So I feel like it's kind of that. But there's definitely like an appreciation for and then an underappreciation. Because some people, I'm just gonna say, some people are just wave riders. You
Oh, of
got wave
course.
setters and you got
Of
wave
course.
riders. So
Of
if
course.
you're independent, it's not gonna matter what you do. You're never gonna be there until you like make it.
Yeah.
So can't please everybody. It's a pro and a con for sure.
You think a part of that is how some artists they come into the game, like they might come in straight off of SoundCloud or
Mm,
come in off of maybe being on social media and kind of like blowing up
yeah.
a little bit on there and then going
Yeah.
into actual music industry type of lane. You think that
Mm.
plays a part into it?
I think it. again depends on our audience. Because for me, I have a serious TikTok bias. I I don't love it. I'm on it because I got to promote and stuff, but I don't like it. So with stuff like what's an example? I'm trying to think real quick. But let's just say there's a song that's blowing up on TikTok. I'm automatically hating it because I'm
Yeah.
like, y'all like TikTok, like, oh, it's so annoying, whatever. So with me, that's a negative stigma. So if I hear your song blow up on TikTok, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm just, if I'm real, like somebody asks me to listen to it, I'll listen to it, whatever. It's like that I'm JP song, right? Like I'm like, yo, like, come on, bro. This thing blowing up, like, come on, bro. So with me, that's a negative stigma. Somebody else may be like, weren't they a YouTuber? Like, come
Mm,
on, I'm not trying. Like with DDG, DDG, they're like, oh, he was a YouTuber. Like, I nobody wants to hear that. Then you have other people. It's like, they were a poet or they were a singer. I'm not trying to hear
yeah.
them rap. It's
Yeah.
just so with different lanes, it's really just different people things. Some people they won't like the song until they hear it on TikTok. Like they can hate it and be like, "Oh, I saw this trend. Okay, now there's a dance to it. Now I'm rocking with it." And that's real.
Um, Bruh, Ray Shermer. I know I pronounced the last part of it a little wrong, but
Black
Black
Beatles,
Beatles. I
that
was on
mannequin
that song when
challenge.
it first came out, and I swear nobody was talking about it. As soon as the challenge came out, everybody was on the song. Like, I don't,
No, I
man.
love Black Beatles, man. That is
Yeah.
my like before the challenge. I like when I've heard the first like I hated Ray Sherman when they first like the first album. No flat is all.
I
I'm
I
like, yo,
like
these are the most
I
annoying
was
people
in
on
it.
earth. I like it now. I appreciate it now.
Yeah.
I appreciate it now. But back then, like back when they dropped, like let me tell you the eras. Right now, I'm in the era. I'm listening to anything. I love anything. Seventh grade, I was like, if it's not that real no before seventh grade it was like if it's not that real good hip hop I'm not trying to listen to it. I'm like it's trash. Like
Uh,
so I'm all into Drake and J. Cole,
mhm.
Kanye, Andre 3000, all of them. And funny enough, my homie gets on me, but it was Rich the Kid, the first person.
Mm,
I was like, you know what, this little like not
yeah.
great lyricism isn't that bad. So I didn't appreciate like No Flakes on and all that. I'm like, or No Type. I'm like, yo, this is the most annoying song ever. But then it got to that point when the second album dropped, I started liking them regardless. So that was
Mm,
like my fifth grade, sixth grade year, whatever. But Black Beatles, when he said that, I
yeah.
sent flowers, but you said you didn't receive. I said, this is a hit, bro. I don't care what nobody say. This is a hit.
Just the music, like
It's so
if you see the music
beautiful,
video
man.
is one thing, but like the music when they intro, like that first 30 seconds, I was like, oh,
It
this is
is
I
like,
know this is gonna go
yo.
crazy. Like,
And the hooks are so important
oh
in
man.
music. Because with this social media era, people's attention spans are at an all
Oh, for
time low.
sure.
And that's another thing music wise that because I make music for my most of the time I make music for myself. So it's like, yo, I
Mm.
don't really care about the other thing. But some songs just like Peace and Quiet. Peace and Quiet was probably my only song that was literally like it was made for it to be catchy. Cause that was the
Mm.
song I was coming back into school
Yeah,
in
yeah,
person. I was like, yo, I need something that people are gonna be like, oh no, he hard. So
yeah.
I literally sculpted that. The crazy thing is, like with Crystal Gem, how I started on a different beat. Peace and Quiet started off as a conscious song. That's probably like my most like
Mm.
ignorant song. It started off as a conscious song. I'm saying like they wanted peace. All they want is like peace and
Yeah.
quiet. Let me see my peace. So it's gonna be like a real like it was gonna be my most conscious song. Then I found this beat and I was like, nah, we finna turn into something different. But that's one. That's the first one is boom, straight the beat, then rap. Because people attention span are so like reels and TikTok. Like you gotta make it like first 15
Oh
seconds.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because people, a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, but the mainstream they don't appreciate instrumentation and the little stuff. So like in a lot of my songs, like on top, I asked my homie Crypto. I was like, or Ken. I was like, bro, like, can you just do anything on the intro of this just to like get people into it? Because the beat is beautiful. Like it's a lot of
Oh yeah.
strings and stuff. Like
It
I love
definitely
the
is.
beginning, but people want to hear something. People want something that's gonna catch their
Mm-hmm.
ear. So I'm like, yo, just say something.
Mm-hmm.
Be like a DJ type guy. So that's another thing. I don't know. I get it's a fast world. People got stuff to do, but man, people just don't appreciate the little beginnings, man. So them hooks, it is important because sometimes that can
Oh,
make
for
it break
sure.
it. If
Oh,
a
for
song
sure.
starts bad, you're like, okay, this ain't
Yeah.
gonna be anything. But if it
Might
starts
not
good,
catch
you're
the
like,
next.
ah,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is pretty solid.
What do you think about the current music scene right now for Mississippi?
That's a good question. Um, it's cool. It's very we got a lot of talent out here, man.
Mm.
Just get shout outs. My boy Nacho, McCoby. Well, let me say that. Amel Wilson, Toshiki Kai. Of course, you got Dear Silas. Did that one song with Snoop Dogg and all that. They've been going crazy. Akeem Ali, being in his bag. Navi, of course, my guy. I really think Navi, like, out of all of us, I think Navi is the one who's gonna like blow up first. Like his sound is already there. But as far as developing, I mean, I learned when I started making music that a lot of people make music, whether
Oh
they don't
man.
tell people or
Oh
not. Like, see, even with you, like I was like, whoa, like he was trying to be,
man.
but like a lot of like people older and younger than me, they come out like, hey, I see you making music. Hey, I kind of do it on the side too. Like, let's work. So it's like, yo, it's such a vast thing that a lot of people are into can get into. But as far as the scene now, if you asked me like 2 years ago, I'd say like I'm super excited for it. But now it's just like it's definitely cool. I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Mm.
I think it's all about right place, right time. Like we
Oh yeah.
had an artist on Westside Boogie down here in like last July, June, for an event I went to, and that's cool. Like that's recognition. But it doesn't matter how good you are. Like you got to have something. You got to have somebody. Somebody has to put you on that next level. Whether it's
Yeah.
TikTok, like you
Yeah.
can't do it by yourself. But I feel like the current scene is pretty cool. We got at least Central Mississippi wide. That's mostly what I know. But we got some good producers, some good artists. It's just I'm not gonna lie, like artists, people in general are weird, but artists is a different type of weird. So that's why I was kind of like hesitant to answer because there's some names I may leave off where I'm like I just don't rock with them. But there's definitely a lot of talent. It's just you know morals over talent. So I
Yeah.
gotta say
Yeah.
morals over talent.
Hey.
But there's
I,
definitely some good people. Like you see people out doing shows in here, maybe going out to Atlanta. You see people on shows and all that stuff. So all that's cool. It's just about finding again the right talent and
hmm
right ears, right personnel, and just getting it back down here so we can spread out. Because too
Yeah.
many people go to Atlanta, Soldier Boy, Ray Shrimmer, but you got to do what you got to do. I understand it, but it's got to be some like homegrown, like David Banner type energy. Like I don't even love David Banner, but he's like every song is Mississippi. I'm
Yeah.
Mississippi,
Yeah.
Mississippi. So you know,
Honestly, for me, like I've done a lot more Mississippi digging lately.
yeah,
The past 2 years, I've really just trying to hone in on like what is actually here, like
yeah,
what are the different organizations that are here, who are the music artists that are happening here, like what do we have going on, and like what is the stuff that's happened there for people that are from here that have left too. I'm
yeah.
like, I always that was something that was big for me. I was like, once I get to a certain point, I'm leaving Mississippi. Like it's a
Of
wrap.
course,
Like I mean, I
yeah,
still
yeah.
am, but
No
at
facts.
this point,
Same
it's like I want to establish more of myself, but also establish more of Mississippi too.
facts.
And I feel like part of my journey has to be pulling up somebody else and being able to spread that light more. And that's also the essence of the podcast
The
too. Like
podcast, yeah,
if I can do anything to uplift anybody's platform at all, I want to be able to do that. And if they're from Mississippi, I'm gonna do that 10 times harder because I feel like as Mississippi, we're just so represented in general. Doesn't even matter about music, like just anything. We're just so underrepresented, and it's like
we are.
if I can push that one person here or one person there, that music scene in itself will start to blow up. This will start to blow up. That will start to blow up. You'll see a lot more people being
I
like, wait,
agree.
we can do it from Mississippi. We don't necessarily have to go to the Atlantas, the Houstons, the LAs, or the New Yorks just to
Yeah,
get it
them
going. Like,
big
you know.
cities.
So that's something
I
I
agree 100%.
it's a part of my like 5 year plan in a sense or whatnot, but like a life journey, life goal, honestly. Like whatever I can do to push up Mississippi, that's what I'm gonna do.
Honestly, same. Like I was one of those. I'm still one of those because Mississippi is still Mississippi, so
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get out. But like when I was in like beginning of high school, pretty much beginning of high school all the way back to my youth, like kid, I'm like, yo, I'm going to college outside of Mississippi. Like I'm not trying to stay here.
Oh man.
But two things decided. Money is a big factor. I'm not trying to student loans, so money is a big factor. And then the second one is like, you know what? I want to establish myself here. Like
Yeah.
I want to be able to not just music, but just connections, the art
hmm
world, everything I can. I want to establish myself here so people can know, like,
Yeah.
okay, they started something from Mississippi, and then they moved on. And then the connection, so everybody knows, like, hey, like we started this stuff in Mississippi, and then we took it out to the world. So I'm glad to see somebody else like that because it's like, yo, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to stay here forever,
No,
not
no, no,
even
no,
for
no.
a long time.
Definitely not. Like, not even trying to start a
I,
family. Like, got to do it
exactly, like
somewhere
no,
else.
yeah, not here for. I'm here for a good time, not a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I definitely second that. I feel the same way.
So, with that, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I know you got school going on.
Of course.
Your career is moving along pretty well, but like just in general, like where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Uh, def definitely definitely be done with school probably. Maybe do it. Wait a minute, what am I? I'm gonna be a soft. So that's maybe masters. Maybe working on masters. I really don't know
Hmm.
how I'm gonna do it. I may want to get a masters, but we just gonna see. I'm definitely gonna be done with the
Yeah.
bachelor's though. But trying to find. I want to already be established in at least like three places. Right.
Hmm.
I want to have music doing really good. I want to have a main job that's hopefully using my degree, but you never know, man. Like sometimes you do what you got to do. But definitely have that, and then have something like another creative side that's not music. So whether I'm
Mm,
managing
mm.
somebody, making merch for
Oh
somebody,
yeah, yeah.
putting on any type of events or anything. Just I want to have three things that like I want to have the main thing, the main job. Cause the money is what makes the world go around.
Yeah,
Then I
yeah.
want to have music, and
Sadly.
then I want to have another thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
whether I'm just managing and counseling somebody, doing a podcast, hopefully getting mine actually going. Whether I'm streaming on Twitch,
Yeah.
YouTube, I want to have three things where it's like not just sources of income, but sources of things that can feed into each other. And that's another reason why I picked marketing, because it's like I feel like that's something that can only excel at everything I'm doing. Because I'm already
Yeah.
good at
Just about
like
that. Yep.
I'm good at the customer service, but like connecting people. Like I'm the glue of most situations. Like I put these artists together, these people, these groups, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I can do that person wise. Let me just figure out all the business logistics, the
Hmm.
legalities,
Hmm.
all that of
Yeah.
it, and I can combine all that. So I want to make everything touch. I want everything touching. I want the yams touching the mac and cheese, touching the
Hey,
turkey. I
hey.
want everything to revolve around each other.
Honestly, that's part of my thing too. Like I've realized I have plenty of talent myself. Like I'm not
Yeah.
sure of myself at all. And the things that I am doing now, I know I'm excelling in them, but I feel like one of my biggest things that I've realized, I feel like it's kind of a gift too, is I understand where other talent is. And
Hmm.
I understand if I could connect people, connect to different things, like that's actually a way more of an impact versus like me doing something or like me necessarily
Facts.
working with one person or something like that. And so being able to see that you have goals of wanting to be established and wanting to be like, hey, like let me help you do whatever it is that you gotta do, managing yourself wise creatively. Like that's a big deal to me because it's not too many people out here really trying to do that and from a
Yeah. No
creative
facts.
aspect. Like it's a lot of
Facts.
people in business, but from a creative aspect, there's a lot more people who has to be out on the forefront with real intentions to actually be beneficial towards folks.
Yeah, my thing has always been basketball analogy. But I'm like, yo, 2 points is less than two assists in the total. Two assists
Yeah,
is
yeah,
at the minimum 4 points. 2 points is just 2 points. So I'm like, yo, if you can connect these groups of people, these two people, and if you really, because it's all about connecting the right people. Because people
hmm
connect a lot of people, but I want to connect the
yeah,
people, like you, like the people that are close to me. I try to keep a good circle. That's like, I'm not just giving you these tools to just be beneficial to me, make money, whatever. But I want y'all to go like do good things, like be good people, put good stuff out there. So if I can get a multiplier of people, two times
yeah,
two, four,
yeah.
and then get that four times two, eight. So
Hmm.
just trying to compound. I guess I don't want to say my vision. That sounds like really like kind of cultish, but just like the people who share similar morals and ideals in me. I wanted to like, okay, let's get something
Yeah,
going so we can
yeah.
spread it out throughout the world. Yeah.
All right, man, we're hitting the home stretch here.
Oh
Kind of a little
snap.
bit of fun, thought-provoking questions on these.
Okay. Okay,
Uh,
hold on. Let me do something real quick. Cause
okay.
I always want to do this whenever I'm on somebody's stuff. I want to give you the exclusive. So when people from my side come over, they gotta listen to the whole thing. Cause if you
Hey,
do it at the beginning, they're
yeah.
gonna be like, it's at the beginning, or they'll skip to the end. I want to do it like near the middle. So next tape is coming out May 9th, my birthday. Tailor made. Um, I don't know how many tracks yet. Maybe like
Mm,
6 or 7. I was just working on one earlier, so maybe like 8. But it's gonna be nice. It's like a DJ radio type like skit thing. Like the whole concept
okay,
behind it
okay.
is like
Yeah.
these three DJs. They're all like doing the radio type, not like an annoying type, but like it's on the radio promoting it. Gonna have a few fake sponsors in there. That's gonna be a whole thing. But May 9th. I just want to put that out here. So anybody who actually came over and listened to the whole thing, or didn't just skip to the beginning
I
or
would hope
end,
so.
they can know. Because I'm not gonna announce it for another little while, but
Okay, okay.
just so they
May
know.
9th, he said. May 9th. Now I was definitely gonna give you that space to do that at the end, but doing it kind of there, it works. It works still.
Yeah. Don't want to put it straight. 'Cause people like to skip stuff, you know. So you
They
can't.
do.
Hey,
They
you
do.
gotta know. If you know, you know.
All right, so these can kind of flow
Hmm.
as quickly as you want them to be, or just a little bit of thought within them too. But
Yeah.
would you say it's your favorite genre that you listen to?
Yeah, hip hop. It's got to be hip hop. I do go through my little phases where it's like 2000s pop rock or
Mm,
R&B. I've been listening to a lot of that lately. Like I haven't been listening to as much hip hop lately, but I've been in that like I don't know if you know them, but like Three Doors Down, Goo Goo Dolls, that kind of to the Aerosmith, that type of rock. And then I've been
okay,
listening to a
okay,
lot of like Miguel, Maxwell, Lenny Kravitz has been my
yeah,
boy for
yeah,
like the past month. So I've been just trying to listen to a lot of different things. But hip hop is it's just always gonna be number
yeah.
one. Like that's just how it is.
Give me your top five music artists of all time.
Mm. Is this best or like my favorite or
Um,
both?
we can do both. Like you can
All
do
right.
like the best and then like your favorites.
All right, I'll do best. Okay. Top five.
Yeah.
Number one, I gotta put Prince.
Mm,
Gotta put Prince number one. The man did everything. Produced, wrote, uh, background songs, wrote songs,
oh
hits for
man.
other people, and not just that. Played guitar, piano, saxophone, this, that, drums. So I feel like that's the best artist of all time, Prince. Second, second, best. Personally, I'm gonna probably say now, hey, this is just straight music, not the personality. Second, second tied for like second and third. So I'm gonna put second and third Kanye and Pharrell or Pharrell and Kanye.
Okay,
Just
okay.
because with Kanye he came out with something different. He changed the game. You know,
Oh, for sure.
everybody that little era, everybody was trying to be gangster rapper, big
Oh, for
football, bunch
sure.
of college chains, whatever. But he came through and was like, hey, like I didn't come from the streets. I know a little bit about it, but this is what I'm gonna rap about. And that spawned the J. Cole's, the Drakes, the
Hmm.
Kendricks, the Wiz Khalifa's, the Lupe Fiasco. So he did a lot. But then Pharrell on the other side, just everything, like the writing, the producing. Someone you would have never thought he produced. Like Hot in Here by Nelly, I didn't know he produced that till like 2 years ago. And I was like, bro,
Yeah,
everybody knows that song.
yeah.
Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. His group NERD, I've been getting a lot to them too. Is rock music, but it's just
Hmm.
like great. The stuff with Justin Timberlake, like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
he's just a
He
he's
was
what
in.
every artist could aspire to be. He does
Yeah.
everything. Happy came out. Happy came out. It's like, bro, like this is the biggest song on earth. Um, so that's
That's
Prince,
three.
Pharrell, Kanye.
Yeah.
Um, 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 I'm gonna have to let me see if I can look at my Spotify real quick. See who I got in my top. But you do your top three real quick while I'm thinking of you.
Of all time. Um,
All time is hard,
Michael Jackson.
of course.
Um, man, should have thought about it before I asked. Uh, mm, I don't even know if I have an order for mine, but Michael Jackson, Prince definitely has to be there. Um, Trying to think of something that I would actually put in my top five. Uh,
Yeah, it's tough.
Trying to think a little bit. I have a few in my head that it's an easy cop out, but
Yeah, see, that's what
uh,
I'm trying to. I'm not trying to just throw something out there. I'll come back. I'm like, yo, how did I not think of that? Like,
yeah.
what's going on?
Um, just not to be super long. I'll put Hove up there. Like for me, Michael Jackson, that's just like childhood thing. Like that's
Yeah,
one of my inspirations into just even liking music, honestly.
of course.
But I'll put Hove as a top five music artist of all time, just because of his impact
Yeah,
from not just the culture, but in music in general. Um, Especially when he first started with his concept albums, like
yeah,
that wave of concept albums in the '90s, rolling into the 2000s. It was something different, and everybody was hopping on top of it. Not just rappers, but everybody was
yeah. No,
hopping on
for
top of it.
everybody. Let's go. Um, for I'm gonna put 103,000. I'm gonna put
Okay.
103,000 of Outkast just because, even though it's such a small sample size, not just such a small. He had like 4 albums, 5, 6 albums of Outkast, so his own personal stuff.
Yeah,
But
first it was
again,
small. Yeah.
he's one of those. He does like that's the best rapping like almost you can ever hear. Like it's just mind blowing stuff. And then the singing stuff he did too, the jazz stuff, like jazzy kind of stuff. It's just I don't know. He was next level. 5 though. I feel like I got to throw somebody who's not in hip hop right there. I mean, I guess Prince isn't in hip hop, but 5. Mm, that's Caden. Caden Sensalah.
Someone show us something.
But number 5, dang, definitely not Elvis. I don't know why he keep trying to pop in my head, but it's not him. Oh, I'll go. I'll go Mariah Carey. It's a
Okay.
little wild
Okay.
card I'll throw in there today because she very, very like she got a little longevity, very versatile, great
Oh, for sure.
songs. All those number ones she got.
Mm.
I'll throw her up there for top 5 best all time. Now this list is gonna change like those bottom 2 are gonna change
Yeah.
dramatically like over every day. But favorites, I think I got favorites.
Yeah.
Now. Favorites, it's gotta be Kanye number 1. Y'all don't cancel me, please, but it's gotta be Kanye number 1. Miguel,
Real music heads won't cancel
real
you.
music head, yeah. Miguel is up there. Miguel is like, yo,
Hey, I know.
he's next level. Like that's my guy. Miguel, Kanye Miguel, Saba. He just dropped a single I think yesterday as well, but Saba's up there just because his album was like I don't know. It's just good. Like it incorporates a lot like jazz, hip hop. He's real with it. He's another great rapper like
Mm.
Andre 3000. He can play different instruments. So Kanye, Miguel, Saba. I had to put. Oh, I don't know how I forgot. Maroon 5 are them boys. Adam Levine, that's my guy. Like top. I can't say best. I didn't want to put him in best.
Yeah.
Favorites
Yeah.
is Kanye and Maroon 5. But that's like 1A, 1B. Like their first 3 albums, classics.
Man.
Then it had 4 with Payphone and then Sugar and all that's cool. Their last album was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, that's the worst album I've ever listened to all the way through. The last album was so bad. That album was so bad. But the first ones hit. So that's Yay, Miguel, Maroon 5, Saba. And then for number 5, I'll go um Drake. I gotta go Drake.
Okay.
I used to hate. I even used to hate Drake, but I was like Drake is so overrated. But I feel like he's so
Mm.
overrated, he's underrated,
Mm.
which is weird. But he's oh no, I'll about Saba for Prince. I'll about Saba for Prince. Saba still got a lot of years left, so he's not counting him out. But definitely Prince is in there too. But yeah, who I cannot remember the last person I just said. I'm not gonna lie. Who did I say?
For those favorites, you had Drake, you had Maroon
Drake. Yeah,
5,
Drake.
Kanye. Yeah, yeah.
Drake has such a special skill. It's making people feel stuff.
Mm.
Like come with like the most relatable song that even if you can't relate to it,
Yeah.
like he's not the best singer, he's not the best rapper, he's not the best writer, but he just somehow like encapsulates just enough of
Those
everything.
concepts that he gets,
Yes,
they're
it's
hidden.
just they're hit.
Every
That's what I'm
single
trying to
one.
do. Every single one. Like for me, in my opinion, Kanye has a case for best producer. So does Pharrell,
Oh, for
and
sure.
Pharrell got case for best writer. Neo is also another really good one, but he's not in my top 5. But those people have cases for being the best in their like specific things a little bit. Drake don't have a case for any of them, but he's just so good at everything he does. It's just like he's got to be there, and it helps that he's dropped so much.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like I know like 200 Drake songs just because he's dropped so much.
Yeah.
But what about your favorites, or your favorites and best, kind of like lined up?
My favorites. Ooh, I haven't thought about a favorites kind of overall. I guess I can mix and match a little bit.
Yeah.
Still Michael Jackson, definitely Chris Brown. I would say Stevie Wonder for sure.
Of course.
Um, Try and mix it up a little bit. Um, Lupe Fiasco. That was one of the first. That was one of the
Ooh, that's
first
hot. That's
rappers
nice.
like I fell in love with, honestly.
Nah, Lupe is
Um,
next
like
level.
one of his first song I heard was back in.
Kick push.
No, it was dang. Oh man.
Paris, Tokyo.
Uh, I know I can find it real quick if I really wanted to look for it. Oh man. I know. I used to know every word to it too, like every single word.
And Lupe is that when you talk about people who can just rap,
Oh man.
next I'm talking about triple, quadruple entendre is just crazy. Like Mural and Prisoner, those two like I can't name like more than 5 lines in a row, but I can listen to those songs just all the way through just because like this is amazing. Like each
I want to say it's the instrumental. I'm not. I'd have to play it in my head, but one of his songs I heard and I was like, "Who is this guy? I got to know."
I got to know.
I like listened to the song a billion times, learned every word, and I just fell into the rest of his discography. So yeah,
Nah, Lupe's
definitely up there.
Lupe's dope.
Number five, favorite. Trying to throw out a having a look at my Spotify.
I was like, yo, like
uh
Frank Ocean's up there too for me.
oh, that's definitely one. I probably have to go with Black Eyed Peas.
Whoa, that's a nice pool. That's a nice pool. That's another one that's like they're like so big that I'd be
Man,
hesitant to pick them, but then it's like, yo, their stuff though, like it's really good. Like
definitely.
Black
Yeah,
Eyed Peas got
I'm
some
gonna
good
go with that. I mean, there's plenty
Black
of
Eyed
other
Peas.
ones that I could have put up as
Yeah,
the
it's
favorites,
hard
but
to
if you
put it as in the list.
favorites, you can roll off them for like 20 people,
I'm
easy.
telling you,
Yeah.
like, so hey, that's a good pick. I did not know, like, that's another one I didn't know till like 2 years ago they were signed to Ruthless Records, the Easy E when
Mm,
it first came out. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo, what?
yep.
Like that just shows how long like it can really take. Like it
Hey,
seems to us like yo, they came out the gate swinging with hits, but sometimes it can be a slow burn and you just
yeah,
take off.
yeah.
It's a good list though, good list.
Do you like music festivals or concerts more?
I've been to one festival. I went to Dreamville Fest in 2023. Outstanding. And then I went to a few like the local little concerts, but I saw Division. They're signed to Drake. I saw them down in New Orleans in December, and they're different but similar. With festival, you
Hmm.
get to see a lot of people,
Yeah,
but that
yeah.
also kind of makes it less person. Because if it's just
Mm,
one person, you get to hear more of their stuff. But festival, you're outside, so you got to take
hmm.
in a lot of factors like the heat, the weather, food. But concerts is more singular focused. But a really good festival though, you can't beat it. Cause like with Dreamville, like it's just so many people that they all have their 30 to hour and a half sets, and it's just Dreamville is not that long of a walk. It's just two, and this is a decent little walk, but it's not like a mile or anything like that. But concerts, like I said, they're so personal, and you
Yeah.
get to go through their whole discography. So I'd probably say, off my limited experience, I say a good festival. Cause like, being able to see Usher one night, then Drake and Cole, and then also being able to see Ari Lennox and
Mm,
freaking I don't know Mario,
yeah,
Jid, like
yeah.
it's just cool. But there is something good about a concert you can not sit down at, but just be able to hug on a wall or something like that. Like just
Hmm.
somewhere you can like, yeah, let me just go sit down or something. But then again, if it's a concert, you're going for that person, so you're probably gonna be
Yeah,
one of you,
yeah.
locked in for the whole time. So it really just depends on the lineup.
Give me your probably gonna work act a little differently. Give me five up and coming artists that we should be listening to.
Ooh, I like this. I'm not gonna count myself, but definitely listen to me. But number one, we're going Navia, Nahveyyah. That's honestly probably like the best independent artist out here, in my opinion. Shout out to him. It's him. Of course, you got the Brent Fizes. That's all the way up there. You got the Sabas. So but he's in my opinion, he's in that realm. Like really, really talented. A hometown hero. You got Cam the Artisan from Atlanta. Cam with a C and the artisans Artisan. But I found his music while I was trying to make that playlist I was talking about in
Hmm.
2020. So I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm featuring some of your stuff." His stuff has been on like Bel Air. One of
Hmm.
his songs on Bel Air. He's been featured in like some NBA playoff commercials, whatever.
Hey,
But
those are
Cameron
big.
Arson, they are big. But he's just another one that's like, yo, like I can tell just from texting because we talk time to time. He give me like little, tidbits, about the stuff because he's been making for a year. He got some songs with 1 million streams, all that. So, just telling me some stuff. I just seen his process. Like he's so devoted to his stuff. Like with the music videos, the color scheme, like everything's so intentional with him, and with his concepts of songs, like it's stuff like that where like he's not gonna put out something that's like he don't think is gonna be like that. Like he's not the type that will like, okay, let me sell out, make it hit. Like he's like, I'm
Mm.
gonna do this intentional. He doesn't have a manager. He does all the connection stuff himself. And just
Okay,
seeing
okay.
somebody
Yeah.
that I've communicated with be on like something like Bel Air, having a music feature on that, it's just inspirational. And to see the music videos and share a few of my songs with him, and he's giving me little tidbits of it. So Camden Artisan is definitely a great one. Another artist up there. So Navia, Camden Artisan. Um, Trying to give love to more because I've already given love to a lot of people, so I'm trying to think of other people. Shout out to Tiani. She has one song out. She was on Rose Fades of Black,
Mm.
my first tape. She's really talented. She's been doing her thing on TikTok and IG Reels and all that. Got follows from Kalani and Westside Boogie, a lot of big people. Um, Who's somebody else that's just like talent? Let me look at my playlist real quick. Let's see. But another one, of course, Kai, Toshiki Kai, and Emil Wilson. Those are the ones I had to look to first. So I'm like, okay,
Mm.
good music can be done
Yeah.
here, right from the high school we went to. Like it, it's possible. Like I see people right here, so that gave me just a lot of inspiration off the bat. Just be like, hey, this is like, not I want to say nothing to me, but this is something like, okay, I can just go do this, like easy, easy. But other people, let me just think of people who I don't know. Like I said, Saba. I feel like a lot of people should get into Saba. Like he's just versatile, really good at making like the heady rap, and then also a little bit of turn up stuff too. Can't think of any singers. Trying to think. It's a good question. It's a good question. Trying to scroll down and see. I don't want to leave any of my guys out either. I just saw a name. Oh, that's a producer. Shout out to Blackshear. He's a good producer. But okay, let's get into it. So Navia, Cam the Artisan, Tiani, Saba. Let's go one more. We'll go with doesn't get enough love. Golly. We'll go with. I really don't know, man. I really
Are
don't
you
know.
good? You good?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Uh,
Isaiah Rashad. Let's go Isaiah
okay.
Rashad. Isaiah Rashad doesn't get as much love as he should for sure. Been over there
Mm.
in TDE, so it's kind of the bigger acts. J Rock, Schoolboy Q, Kendrick, SZA, kind of overshadow him, but he's super super talented. So I'll go with that.
Okay, if you could travel back in time to a certain decade or year, what would it be and why?
In my life or prior?
Just in general, like it could be in your life, if you got that year and whatnot, or it could be anything else.
As a black man, it's kind of hard. Yeah.
Hey, man.
If I could go back and visit, I ain't gonna lie. I would love to go back to ancient Greece,
Mm.
ancient Greece or ancient Rome. Cause just seeing, like, I've always been into like their Greek mythology and Roman
Hmm.
mythology, and just seeing it's crazy how it's just crazy how humans only been on Earth for a short amount of time, but like even going back then, like seeing the theaters and the
Man.
coliseums and the temples and stuff they used to build, like, and it just seems so beautiful. I know we only have paintings and art, but just from it just seems like such a beautiful, beautiful time.
Being able to be there to experience it, like,
Yes, like see the play, talk to Plato's and Socrates and all these philosophers that have come up with concepts that we still use today. I feel like that'd just be insane. But to think of something more recent, I'd probably go back to I'd go back to like being an adult where I was born, so like mid 2000s, early 2000s, because that's just such a great wave of like music.
Mm,
Like that's just an amazing time. All these big, they used to have these big concerts. All these people. That's back when all of our favorites were, coming into their own. So to be able to see the 50 Cents wave, the Eminems, Kanye's, Pharrell, Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Jay Z, all these people coming. Well, Jay Z's are coming to their own. But all these people
yeah.
coming to their own. And the media, Spider Man 3,
Oh
Iron Man, like
man.
basically everything was getting its start. That's functioning right now. Social media started in the late 2000s. So I'd probably go back just to experience what that's like. Yeah, so I'd probably do that. Just everybody says '90s, but it's like I don't.
That's
Okay,
mine.
y'all can have.
That's
I did.
that's
Everybody
mine
says
for the.
'90s.
It's a culture thing, like especially
Oh,
the
not a
movies,
culture
like
thing. Oh,
the
not the
movies
movies
for
too, Jay.
real.
Jay, like it's so tight. I want to love like the '90s. Yeah, that'd be the most annoying thing. Man, I want to love like the '90s. I want friends like these have them in the '90s. I'm like, bro, like y'all got these from movies, bro. Like y'all stop talking.
Hey,
That's so
also
tight.
too, like just being a black person in the '90s, it was different.
Yeah,
Like it hit
it
different.
was like
Like
another Harlem Renaissance for sure.
yeah, like I feel like people in the '90s, especially black people, our community was so strong then, and like
Yeah,
seeing us have our success on TV and stuff too, being able to actually pop off and do different things. Like we had the comedy scene blowing up, we had the music scene
yeah,
blowing up. Like
that's very
the
true.
'90s was just a different time, even though I was born at the end of it. But like getting the chance to experience it for real, like
Yeah.
that's me, man.
No, actually that's a great answer though. I didn't think about like I said, it's like a second Harlem Renaissance. Like that's
Yeah.
when BET and all those were coming out and they weren't as trashy as they are now sometimes. But Eddie Murphy, he was late '80s, but coming in the '90s, Martin Lawrence, freaking Chris Tucker, you
Yeah, yeah.
know, Sinbad. So you had a lot of different people with different range. You had the Tupacs, you had the Outkast, you had the Jay Z's, the Fugees, Lauren Hill, all that.
Oh yeah.
Lenny Kravitz. So you got
Yeah, he
black
started
people in
around there.
all these different landscapes, and it was just like you said, like that's a great time. Good, kudos. I like that. I like that answer. I like that answer. You made a
All
basic
right.
answer good. I like
Just
that.
because everybody says it doesn't mean everybody's
Yeah,
reason is
no,
the
that's fact.
same.
It's
But
facts,
yeah.
facts, facts.
All right, man, the last one. If you owned a library, what kind of library would it be? A music library, a regular like book library,
Look,
or a movie and TV show library?
yo, this is such like a creative question. Is this what you gonna ask everybody, or is this just because that's a great question?
I so these last ones, some of them are
Yeah,
kind of tailored towards like the guest, and then some of them are kind of
yeah,
like general.
hmm
So like those last two, I probably
yeah.
would kind of ask a little bit of everybody. But yeah,
That's a great question. Because what I'm thinking about, I'm not even thinking about like what I would put in the shop, but I'm actually thinking about like how I can not change people's life. That sounds so dramatic, but like how can interact with the customers, the people who
yeah,
come in to see it? Because if you think about a blockbuster, I had a few blockbuster stores. I still remember it, but it was torn up by the time I was 10 or whatever. So that's a cool one. And then you think about a library, you can do so much. You can start so much putting into a person's mind with a library. Then you said what movie? Oh, music. It's like a record store. That would be I ain't gonna lie, record store type. I've seen High Fidelity. Like that'd be hard.
oh man,
But I'd probably say a music store. Just
mm,
because not everybody reads.
yeah,
Not everybody. I mean, a lot of people watch movies, especially back then. We're in those stores. But music stores, like I'm putting myself in like the mid 2000s because now like a lot of most of those places I would say irrelevant,
hmm
but they're not as big as they used to be. But if I go to like a music store during the heyday, man, I could. And with all the music I listen to, I would be kind of cheating because I would have streaming
yeah,
service. But like I could be like, oh, I could talk to a 35-year-old white dude like who likes rock. I'm like, I hear you like rock, yo. Pharrell, this dude Pharrell's group NERD, they're rock artists, they're black, Lenny Kravitz. I'm gonna be like, yo, you should hear this. I talk to this, 22-year-old black dude, like, hey man, hey, I know you like this. Yo, let me put you on to some of this. Like, it is kind of rock, rock inspired, but I think you like it. And then just to tell stories about the
oh
music, because
man,
I'm such a music head. So I think I would get a lot of enjoyment of just doing that, putting on little like, shout out to Offbeat and Jackson, DJ Venom. But I would love to have like that type of setup where you can just like play albums, everybody come in, come through. Like you said in the '90s, like that's a lot of black people were doing. They were able to have
Oh
like
yeah.
black parties. Everybody was a community, so they could host stuff like that. So I think it'd definitely be a music store, just because of how much I love music. But all
Yeah.
three of those have something different to offer. Because library would be great. Like if you're great with kids, you can really like instill like a whole nother world in the kids with a library. So that's all great. How about you though? How about you?
For me,
It's
I'd probably
tough.
say a
It's a
movie
good
TV
question.
show library.
Why
Um,
is that?
Kind
I
of on
like
that
that
same
stuff.
element where you were saying with the music,
Mhm.
being able to connect people of all different backgrounds, literally of any age demographic. Like I
Mhm.
could talk to a 5-year-old kid about this show or whatnot, and next day I'm talking to a 60-year-old woman
Yeah.
about this specific show or this specific movie that came out whenever, and being able to have nuanced conversations about anything.
Yeah.
Also because movies and TV shows alike, they tell stories just like books do, but also with music as well. And so also they have that a little bit of a music element in them, with
That's true.
their theme
That's true.
shows or
Good
whatnot, or
soundtracks
just the
and theme
way
songs
some
and
of
all
the
that.
movies
Yeah,
are made.
that's true.
So just having that and its impact, I feel like music would have a bigger impact, obviously, but I feel like movies and TV shows be right there for me,
I
in
fuck with
terms
that.
of impact. So, yeah.
Something that I do to kind of piggyback off of that, off of your question, thinking like about music is like, because I feel like I want to say no matter what, I feel like I would have moved into some sort of creative atmosphere, whether it is like the podcast and YouTube thing or writing a book or trying to
Mm.
do a screenwriting for a movie. Thinking like about music is it's the most easily accessible and the
Oh yeah.
easiest
Oh yeah.
digestible. Because
Yeah.
a movie, TV show, that's got to be a certain length. Books, you already know how long it can
Hmm.
take to finish a book. But one song can be 2 minutes long, and it's just amazing. It tells a story by itself.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about music because you can digest so much of it and get so much out of it in a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's another thing. I would love to do a movie soundtrack one day. Like Kendrick did the Black Panther. Babyface
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
do a lot
Yeah.
in the '90s. I think that would be like the I made it. That'd be
Okay.
career
Okay.
five. That'd
Hey,
be cool.
we're gonna
We
speak
are
that
gonna
into
speak it into
existence.
existence, man.
It's gonna
Black
happen.
Panther 5 is gonna be me.
Hey. Hey. Well, man.
Listen, mhm.
What were we gonna ask?
I was just gonna ask, for you, I have a question for you. Where do you want to see yourself on this platform specifically in the next, not even 5 years? Let's say a year. Let's say April 26, 2025.
A little bit of this come out a little bit in that intro video that I did or
Yeah,
whatnot, but I can explain a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit.
Honestly, in a year's time, whether it's 25, April 25 or 26 or whatnot,
Yeah,
I want to see myself being able to get everybody on my list that I want to ask the interview, number
of
one.
course.
But number two, actually getting a meaningful audience. In that first podcast, I did have a good bit of an audience. I know I reached a few people overseas and everything, but I
That's the
just went
best
about
feeling of
it.
all time. Best
I
feeling of
just
all
went
time.
about it in a different mindset, and I was a little disappointed in myself. And so this time around, I'm going about it with the purest of intentions. And I understand at the end of the day, like if it's not for my enjoyment and if I'm not gaining something from it, then I really shouldn't be doing it. And so I feel like for this one, if I'm putting my all into it and putting my best intentions into it as well, and
Hmm.
like I said in the beginning, trying to be strategic and not burn
Yeah,
myself out too,
yeah, fact.
I feel like I'm gonna have the most genuine, the most thoughtful audience, and people who genuinely want to be a part of this community, not just to grow like myself or the podcast or
Yeah,
something, but just for the connections that it brings, for the conversations that it might start up, for introducing people to this point of view, to this
yeah,
idea and different things. So that's where I want to see it be. Didn't have to be a specific subscriber number,
yeah.
different follower number, but if it's growing and I see people talking about it or promoting it or being like, hey, like you're the host from this podcast, like I know I'm doing something at that point. So
Facts. I think that's an amazing way to think of it because I do the same with music. Thankfully, I didn't go into it like it was always like something that's not your dream. It's like it would be cool. Like music was never like my dream, but it was like that would be really cool.
yeah,
And I feel like that's a great way to come into something and where it can develop into a dream or whatever. Because man, I'd hate to be just caught up on like the numbers and all. And sometimes it does still happen, and I got to reel myself back in.
yeah, yeah.
But
We're
when you can
human.
be,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because I'm just like, Yo, because yesterday there was Kim. I said, "Yo, this post ain't getting no traction at all, man. It's time to quit." But but nah, like it's just amazing. Like you said, the overseas like little things motivate me like no other.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
I'll never forget. I'm trying to speed it up. I try to speed it up, but
Are you
never forget
good?
when I came back to school. Um, homegirl Amelia. Shout out to both Amelias, but Black Amelia specifically. She walked up to me and she was like, I didn't share my music with her. So she walked up to me and said, "Hey, like your last song or your last tape, that was really good. Like keep it the good work." And I'm like, "Yo, this is somebody I didn't text the link
Yeah.
to. I didn't
Yeah.
show." So for somebody to either through my page or through somebody else, for them to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, like I actually see what you're doing. Keep it up. I really like this song." That means all the world. There's another one.
Oh man.
This girl from this woman from Bermuda, Deja, found my song Morning Sun. Shout out to TG18, shout out my boy Tony and Navia. But found that song all the way in Bermuda through a YouTube ad. And then she went to go find us on TikTok and
Hey.
then found us on Instagram. So it's like, yo, when people are looking like, is that good? Like, I have no
Oh,
choice but to keep on going.
they're gonna
Like,
go.
you feel me? So if it's even just like a few people, man, because like you said, if I can just help one person, if I can connect these two people, if I can make somebody feel this certain way, because it's just like that. I want my music to be like a movie, like you said, or a
Mm.
great book, or another song. But my number one thing, like everybody's lying if they say they don't want the numbers. Like, 'cause,
Oh,
you
of
want the
course.
numbers to come
Yeah.
with it too. But if I could just say like, yo, like this song made me cry, or this song makes me
Mm.
think of my ex,
Mm.
or like my old best friend, like just to
Yeah.
form a connection with a song. And same with some, YouTubers and podcasters, like one of my favorites, JD Witherspoon. I'm like, man, like this stuff just makes me think of a time where I wanted to do this, or back when I was
Mm.
playing these games, or man, when I listen to this person, I can feel like this. So to just be somebody's go tos or anything, it's just the best feeling in the world. That's what keeps me going. Keeps me going.
Hey man, I wanna thank you for giving me some of your time today. I've been able to share some of your story and some of your
Thank
experiences
you.
so
Thank you.
far. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Um, Chances are, depending on how it blows or whatnot, just how life circles itself back around. We
Yeah.
could definitely get you back on again
Oh man,
or
I'm ready
whatnot.
to get back on tomorrow. I'm ready to get back on tomorrow.
But no, man, I thank you, thank you.
Cool.
You'll be the first one to say, yeah, it's be
Oh
big,
yes.
man.
I'm honored.
This is more defined. I would like to see you guys next time.
Peace out.